Hello everyone, this is Mark with All Natural Aquatics, here once again at Pets Plus in Lawrenceville, New Jersey for episode 39 of What Did We Get Today? This is going to be a two-parter. We're going to film part of this today. We've got fish from Colombia today. Tomorrow we have plants coming in from Singapore, so I'll put the two of those together and get it posted tomorrow night. Please be sure to give us a thumbs up on the video. Hope you do like it. If you have questions, don't hesitate to let me know. You can respond in comments below, or you can send me a message on Facebook, or give the store a call, however you want to do that. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss future videos. All right, so this is 2 boxes from Colombia. I ordered basically because there were 3 things I really needed to get. I needed rummy noses, I needed cardinals, and I needed Heros librifer. We got one of the 3, but we got some really cool stuff too. So let's see what's here. Rubber lip plecos, rubber nose plecos, albino plecos, whatever you want to call them. One of the best algae eaters there is. Never bothers plants, only gets about a maximum of 4 inches long, so it's great for almost any size tank. If you got a 10-gallon or larger, they're a good one for you. Corydorus mete. Nice size, look like they're in good shape. Really nice size on those. Alright, now this one's a dark bag, so let's see what's on the inside here. Alright, we got an audience today. Let's see, yeah, the inside bag is a lighter bag, so get this out so you can see that. Brocus britzkii. This big Brocus britzkii, man, those look nice. Really nice. If you're looking for a larger one of the Corydorus type catfish, that's a great one. Really hardy, beautiful fish. Love that long snout on those guys. It's really cool looking guys. They will handle warmer water usually pretty well. You can go up into the 80 or low 80s with them without too much of an issue. Temps in the mid 70s is perfect though. So not a difficult fish to keep as long as you give them some room. They do like to be in a group. Typical Cory type cat, they all like to be in a group. All right, let's see. Trifasciata pencils. Man, they look perfect. They look perfect. Yeah, they're showing blotchy color right now because they've been in the dark for 2 days or a day and a half. But when those color up, they are absolutely gorgeous. It's one of my very favorites of the pencils. Actually, of the commonly available pencils, it's definitely my favorite. And these are wild Scolari type angel. Also look really good, man. This shipment looks great so far. Hopefully the last bag doesn't mess me up on that. This is the last bag, is the rummy noses, and man, they look good. When rummy noses come in and the water is clear and you don't see a dead one in the bag on wild rummy noses, that's a phenomenal shipment of rummy noses. That is as good as it gets. So if you're looking for those, now is the time to go and get them. It's 150 of them in there, so they won't last here very long. So anyway, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for part 2, and I'm gonna go ahead and get these guys all tanked. Take care. Hey everyone, welcome back to part 2 of the video. This is delivered from Sun Pet. We do this a little differently than we normally do. This is a couple of fugu puffers, nice size. We got one 2 weeks ago and sold it. Got a couple of more. See if we can get him in an angle where you can actually see him. Yeah, maybe the other one will cooperate better. Not really. This one's actually a hair smaller. Really nice fish. Great fish in a tank by themselves because they will eat just about everything. Put them on a sand bottom. They'll actually burrow down in the sand. Kind of work as an ambush predator. It's very, very cool. Awesome fish. Got Some medium red-bellied piranhas. These came in really nice size. That is a 4 to 5 inch body plus the tail. Nice size. I got 5 of these. And then we got a bunch of pelicos, different sizes. Another one of the piranhas. And there's 5 of them. There's another box. I'm not going to show you everything because the rest of it's all just different size pelicos and things. So back in a little bit with the plants from Singapore. All right, a lot of work going on in the store today, so we're in a different spot because they're drilling things in and screwing stuff in the fish room and too much background noise. So anyway, this is plants from Singapore. I've opened the box, but I really haven't looked at anything other than what I can see on the top of the box. This is Hemianthus Monte Carlo. That's actually really, really nice. There's a few of those. We'll split those up into portions and sell them that way. This should be the old foxtail, the old red foxtail. Make sure that's what that is. Yeah, Myriophyllum tuberculatum. And we'll do another little video walking around once these are planted too. But that's real frilly, just a beautiful plant. The Monte Carlo, we should actually talk a little bit about these. The Monte Carlo is one, makes a low growing carpet on the front of the tank. When they come in and they're this tall, you lay those down horizontally and bury them at spots along there, and they'll run that way. Medium to high light, preferably high light for the Monte Carlo. It's going to be the same thing on the red foxtail. It's going to like a lot of light. You definitely, when you buy things in a bunch, you want to separate them out of the bunch, plant them individually, give them some space in between, because you need to make sure you get enough light to the lower leaves. If you leave them planted too tightly together, if you leave them in a bunch, you don't get enough light to those lower leaves, they all die and fall off, and you wind up with 6, 8, 10 inches of stem before you get to where the leaves are, where it starts to spread out a little bit. So you want to be very careful about that when you're doing your aquascapes. When you're trying to prune the plants back when they're getting too tall on anything that's in a bunch, those all have little nodes along the stem from which the leaves grow and the roots grow. So as they start to get too tall, you go to one of those nodes and you pinch it off or cut it off right underneath one of those. Take the top part then that you've cut off and plant that. That's how you get more plants. And then I like to go back on that original node and go down to the next node on the stem and either pinch it off or cut it off right above that node. What I find is that it encourages it to branch there. They won't branch every time, but they do it often enough that over time you're gonna get bushier plants. It's gonna look more natural. It's just a nicer looking aquascape. This is Nymphia micrantha, the tricolor water lily. They always come in a little on the small side, but they get absolutely spectacular. There's one actually in the angelfish tank. So maybe when I walk around, I'll do a little quick video of that. Some things that are wrapped in newspaper, so they're not going to show real well right now. It's probably hornwort. These are assorted crypts from Sri Lanka, and they're nice clumps. There's always a nice variety. This is, not going to be a wentai. That's a longer leaf stem, but that's really nice. This is maybe a Willisii type, something along those lines. Another one of those there, another one of the same as the first one. And yeah, this might actually be a Navillii type, although it's a little tall for that. And that looks more like a wentai type. So, nice mix. Those always come in assorted out of Sri Lanka. They ship from Sri Lanka into Singapore, and then from Singapore on. Nice big one there, too. Corkscrew Val. This has not come in. The last couple of times I've ordered it from American suppliers. So I ordered it from Singapore. A little more expensive that way, but at least we get it, and it always comes in great. You can look how nice the condition is on all these plants. They really are nice and clean and in great shape. One thing you want to remember on Singapore plants, any imported plants, before they're shipped out and shipped over here, they are chemically treated to kill snails and snail eggs. That will also kill shrimp. So you want to be very careful if you're buying freshly imported plants. I would put them in a tank that does not have shrimp in it for a couple of weeks. Make sure you get all that chemical a chance to disperse and get off. Doesn't seem to really bother snails much, which is odd. I put them in with nearite snails many times and never been an issue. Sometimes put them in tanks that had pond snails or ram's horns, and you wish it would take care of it, but it doesn't. But anyway, that's something to keep in mind. And let's check our number on that. Just make sure it's what I thought it was. Yep, it is. This is Tanzenda Feuerferden. Nice sword plant. They get really colorful. These are grown immersed, so they're green. You got to grow them underwater to get all the colors on them, but they get quite spectacular. This looks like Gabrieli. Yep, this is Gabriel's sword plant, Canidorus Gabrieli. A lot of times these come in about 3 times that size. I was hoping for big ones, but that's okay that we got smalls. And smalls usually grow better anyway. So let's see. This is Super Red Ludwigia, mini Super Red Ludwigia, and again we'll break that into bunches and sell it in bunches. Comes in always like this. They don't sell that in a bunch from over there. That we've already seen. There's the other one of those. Another one of those. Another sword plant here. This one is Kleiner Bar, little bear swords. Again, they're growing them out of water, so they're green. We put those underwater, all the new growth is going to be red. And it's a really pretty bright red too. It's really a nice sword plant. 1338, we got another sword plant here. This one, yep. This is Fantastic Color, which, hey, growing it out of water, doesn't have it. But you grow this underwater and there's multiple colors on these leaves. It is really one of the most striking of all the sword plants. It is one of the cultivars, not one you find in the wild. Yeah, it's Kleiner Bar again. This is Alternanthera lilacina, the lilac alternanthera. Yeah, really nice bunches on these. Look at what shape those guys are in. That's really nice. Great color for a plant that's got a lot of red on it. It is not overly demanding in terms of light. Does like iron fertilization, so good substrate. And make sure you're adding liquid iron to the water column, as well as some iron into the substrate for it. And next up is just water wisteria, Graphila deformis. I got the ones that are grown underwater, so it has the pinnate leaves. Really beautiful leaf. It's one of the prettiest plants, I think, in the hobby. Check again. Yep. This is a Limnophylla. This is Limnophylla aquatica, which is, I think, always one of the nicest of the Limnophylla. Really frilly leaves. Does like a lot of light because it is really frilly leaves. There's going to be a lot of them. These can also get, this big around on a single stem pretty easily. So you want to make sure when you plant that, you're planting it with enough room in between. Yep, this is Rotella Nanjing Shan. It's a really, again, a very striking plant. Doesn't look like much in the bag, but gets big around. Leaves kind of crinkle, little wavy leaf. Beautiful plant. That one we've had. Trying to dig through now. This is another Rotella. Yeah, this is just Rotella macrandra. It comes in with a nice shade. This is not, in my experience, as difficult a plant as people like to make it out to be. I've grown that plant quite successfully in hard water with no CO2. Hard water, you don't really need the CO2 because you've got plenty of carbonate sources in the water to begin with. It's really in a really soft water. What you're doing is providing a carbonate source, a carbon source for the plant to utilize to grow. And this should be another Rotella. Yep, this is Rotella indica. This is the easiest of the Rotellas to grow. But again, nice pinky red color to it. Gets to be a quite beautiful plant. This is Blixa. This is Blixa aquatica. which the great thing about these, they are, again, medium to high light. Plants usually about yay tall or so, about, 8-10 inches tall. They can get bigger than that, but they don't usually. Coolest thing with those is the Blixes have, I think, the neatest flower, and they flower regularly. The flower comes up above the water surface, and it looks like a little Chinese paper lantern. They're just an awesome looking flower. So, okay. This is a hydro. I think it's actually got a little bit of brown leaves on him. Unusual. Especially this time of year, stuff usually ships great. Yeah, this is Hygrophila stricta variety corymbosa. Longer, narrower leaves. Echinodora stenelis, pygmy chainswords. These are submersed growth, and that is about as tall as they get at about 4 inches. Pygmy chain going to spread like crazy. One of the great foreground focal point or foreground ground cover plants. Not as popular or as common in the hobby as it used to be, which is really unfortunate. I think it's one of the best ones. Also one of the easiest ones to grow. This is another Myriophyllum. This is basically the green foxtail. This is the true Matogrossense. Very almost like a bird's feather on the leaf shape. It's got the central stem with lots of things coming off the side. Really a pretty flower, pretty plant. Another Hygrophila here. This should be, just make sure. Yeah, this is salicifolia, which is one of the better looking of the temple type plants. All right, have I gotten everything? Those. We had a bag of Cryptobaccatii in there somewhere. I think that was that one that was the taller one, the last crypt. And other than that, yeah, we've been through it all. So I'm going to go ahead now and get those planted, and then we'll shoot them once they're in the tank. And we'll see you then. Thanks. Hey guys, it's Mark. I'm at work today. I'm at Pets Plus in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. Just wanted to share some little short live video today showing you some of the plants that we got in this week and some ones that we've had for a little while. This is all imported Singapore bunch plants here. Actually, there's one exception in this tank. The plants came in spectacularly from Singapore this week, so wanted to let you all see that. The first one on the right there is Alternanthera lilacina. Then we have Ludwigia. Yeah, start the thing and immediately go blank. I'll double check that one. But that's a Ludwigia species. The second one there comes in short and green, but you can see the new growth is already starting to turn red. And then next to that, we've got Hygrophila salicifolia. Used to be Nomophylla, but those two genera have been combined. And then Rotala macrandra. Look at the colors on that. Really, really nice. Plants, like I said, really just in great shape this week. This is the true Myriophyllum Matogrossense. You know, what we used to think was foxtail. It's really a different leaf structure on the real one. It's still really a pretty plant. And, you know, you can see, again, if you look down through there, you can see a lot of new growth coming out. Now, this is what we used to think of as foxtail, as Matogrossense, but it's actually not. This is the tuberculatum, Myriophyllum tuberculatum. And again, really nice plant. Deeper red on the new growth up on the crowns, but nice color in general. And then the other Rotala that's common in the hobby, this one is Indica. Got Indica, rotundifolia, macrandra, probably the three most common ones. This is Indica, a little bit longer leaf shape than rotundifolia. Really nice again. You can see all the pink on there. The new growth is always going to be pink. Whether it stays pink or turns green depends on how happy it is in the tank, which is a function of light and primarily, in my experience, iron. So you know, make sure you're doing regular iron fertilization with anything that's red. And make sure you got some blue light on there for the red stuff too. This is Limnophylla aquatica, the old ambulia. Little on the short side, but really nice. Every once in a while this comes in great. Most of the time it comes in and it's kind of mushy. But this is one of those times it really came in great. So if you want this plant, now's a good time to come on down to Pets Plus in Lawrenceville and pick that up. These will get about 8 inches or so in diameter for each stem. So when you take them out of the bunch to plant them, you want to make sure you leave plenty of room in between there. Another rotala here. This is actually another one that's fairly common on the rotala. This is a cultivar. It's Nanjing Shan. This is what it looks like when we first get it. Now, a month from now, there's going to be a lot of a pinky reddish color to it, and those leaves are going to be several inches long, each one. So again, and they're going to be kind of wavy too, which really gets neat. But you got to make sure you're leaving enough space in between there. And then Hygrophila deformis, the old water wisteria, one that's been around for a long, long time. Beautiful plant. Love the leaf shape on that. It's very different than anything else that's common in the hobby. Fast grower, makes a great plant for new tanks because it's going to help utilize a lot of nutrients and help to keep algae growth to a minimum in a new tank. And then this is the mini super red or deep red Ledwigia. Again, just a fantastic plant. Love the color on that, and the small leaves are a nice big plus too. And then Hemianthus Monte Carlo. This is what it looks like when it hasn't been trained to grow as a carpet, but it's easy to get it to do that from here rather than start it from a dry tank. It's easy to deal with from this point. And then Japanese Blixa japonica, the dwarf Asian grass is another name for that. And love that stuff. The coolest thing on that is the flowers. It flowers readily in a tank, flowers up above the water surface, and looks like a little Chinese paper lantern. Actually, in the YouTube video where we were going through what came in, I promised people a closer look at a tricolor lily that was growing out a bit. Here's one in our angelfish tank. And we got small ones of these in. Really a cool plant. And got some lucky bamboo over there. And we do have a little bit of guppy grass, some nodus that we can sell. There's more of the Blixa, more nodus over there on the end. Look at that fantastic color sword. You know, when they grow these out of water, which they do commercially because they grow faster and they ship better, you don't get the colors on it, but that's going to be a really, really nice one. Going to have great color underwater. And there's some crispatulata in here as well. This tank has a few Crinum calamistratum, Cameroon Crinum that we've had for a while, and a little bit of pennywort, and some Italian Val in a number of tanks here. And then some more of the fantastic color swords. These were a little bit smaller than that other one. But again, going to be really nice looking plants when they grow out. Banana plants, some cryptolucens. That's been here for a little while. It's got a little bit of algae on it, but it's easy enough to clean that up. Up here, we got a spectacular batch of rummy nose tetras that came in from Colombia. And some red tie lilies, Nymphia rubra, down here in the front. Some more Italian Val in the back. And down here some Madagascar lace plants. A little bit of Windelofts or lacy Java fern. A few odds and ends, just kind of assorted sword plants left over from before. This one's got a little bit of Bobitis heteroclida in it, along with some really nice clown loaches. I have one left of Aponigeton longiplumulosus, narrower leaf than a lot of the other Aponigetons, but really nice looking plant. And Kleiner bar, little bear swords. When they come in again, they're green because they're grown out of water. Underwater growth is going to be red on those. A little bit of narrow leaf Java fern, more Italian Val across the back, and there's a couple of Aponigeton caperoni in here. This one's kind of floating around. That's the one that corkscrew leaves. This is assorted crypts from Sri Lanka in little clumps. Nice variety there. And a couple of Kleiner bar swords that are still left from last shipment. So you can see all the new growth is red on them. And this tank has the small tricolor lilies, Nymphia micrantha. And then in behind that is some Crypt Pontederiafolia. Really nice, a little bit larger crypt, bigger leaves. Got that heart-shaped leaf. It's really, really nice looking plant. This is red melon swords. Again, you can see all the new growth is red. Pygmy chain swords here, Tonellus. And in behind that, we have Tanzenda Feuerfader sword plants, which is another one that's really colorful once it grows out underwater. Aponigeton boivanianus. one with the kind of real bubbly leaf. And in the back down here is Cryptobeckidae. If I stand in the way, you don't get as much of the light reflecting. And then there's a few Anubias down in front there. We still have a bunch of black Amazon swords left from last batch. So I need to go through and clean these up. A lot of the leaves, the original leaves all die. So I just need to go through and remove them all. A lot of new growth coming in there. Some hornwort. Corkscrew val in the back. Beautiful batch of Aspi rasporas. Actually in here with the hornwort. Trifasciata pencils. Love those guys. And then in front of the corkscrew val in here is some Cryptolenti green. And some moss balls and crypts. Actually, I think that might be some old Beckidae. Nice Anubias nana here. Some Cryptopetchii in behind it. A little bit of four-leaf clover there as well. This is some young Cryptobalancy. This is Cryptopetchii in here. They're small, but they're nice. They got a bunch of leaves, nice root growth. More black Amazons. Black Amazons. Around the ladder. Black Amazons. Black Amazons. We got quite a few of them last time. I have one Anubias golden coin left. And these are Gabriel's swords. And you see some Java moss and things scattered around here as well. So that's pretty much everything in the plants. We'll do another one sometime, in another live stream sometime here, and talk about some of the fish some more. But lots of stuff here right now. It's a good time to come in. So hopefully we will see you all soon. Take care.